Hello and welcome to the Flow of Life Tarot. I invite you to join me in this space of quiet, calm, a moment to go within, a moment to be with yourself, a space of reflection and meditation, a moment to drop into your body in the deepest way possible in this moment for your highest good and greatest well-being. Yes. So this one, actually there's several different energies that have been floating around and I meditated on this morning as well. So several different types of messages. So I'm gonna, let's see what this one is, because there's a few. This is for your highest good and greatest well-being. And may you find this when it serves you best for your highest good and greatest well-being. May you receive the messages that you need to for your highest good and greatest well-being. I ask to be a clear channel so that you can fully receive that which you need to for your highest good and greatest well-being. And in the process, when you declare something for your highest good and greatest well-being, it will always be automatically for the highest good and greatest well-being. So it's automatically in alignment. I love that mantra. I've worked with it for decades and I share it whenever possible. It bypasses the ego. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And it removes the ego, removes the control factor, and bypasses the linear thinking mind, which is really useful. So here we're dropping into a liminal space. Words might start to roll or flow or tumble. That's simply an indicator that we have entered the liminal space. Chances are you may receive messages that are unspoken through this time and space in the process of watching this. And this often happens to me if I rewatch my own as well as others. I see messages that were there. So trust that what comes through for you is meant to be for you. As ever, if it resonates, then embrace it with grace. If it jars, then release it with ease. So cherry pick what feels good for your soul and let the rest be. There's no need to engage or tangle or get stuck on a thorny branch. Allow the flow, allow the liminal. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry about the words. Tap into the feeling. Follow the feeling. This is a feeling space. Feeling healing space. For your highest good and greatest well-being. For my highest good and greatest well-being. For the highest good and greatest well-being. Soul retrieval. Okay. I'm going to get 3 cards, past, present, future. We're going to see what we're working with, where we're at now and where we're headed. So, Heart of the Sky is what we've been working with. We are now at this completion point. We've got the Serpent here, and actually one of the energies that kept coming up was dragon energy. So it'll be interesting if that is what comes up. And this came up the other day in a reading, which I may or may not post or at a later date. And there's a, what have we got here? 6, 9, 8. Bottom of the deck, Sorcerer, 48. Okay, she's guiding this process, in fact. So let's keep. Oh, look, and then we've got flow underneath. What did I say about dropping into the flow? Yeah, and the flow is, if you imagine a river and you have the embankments either side, the flow is supported by the sacred jaguar spirit and the sorcerer. So it's safe to drop into the flow. Oh, I could just feel this fluttering in my heart. I can feel a heart opening in someone. This is a safe moment to drop into your heart. So grab a cup of tea, do what you need to do, and put your headphones in and get on with some other stuff. I'll come back to that. I've got the sorcerer overseeing. I don't think you can see her, but I'm just going to pop her there for now. She's overseeing this. Okay, you get comfy whilst I connect with this space. Just noticing this heart at the centre. So just give yourself a minute, just to breathe. Conscious breathing. We're slowing right down. Connecting with the space, the sacred space that is divinely protected. Let's get the Rider-Waite Smith. Nine of Pentacles, slow and steady. So we're going to pull tarot to get information about each of these energies. Let's see what the flow is. Let's see what the story is here. This feels like a paradigm shift. So we are actually in this liminal space right now. We've just had the full moon. So the moon is now waning. We've just had its zenith. Pink full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, someone's been in this hermit mode, this healing mode. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Someone's been in hermit mode. After quite a long period of struggle, feeling isolated, lonely, battling, feeling defeated. And also I'm getting like a sense of resentment, excuse me. Because his eyes look wide and wild and he's bandaged and he's been through the wars, but he's also resenting other people that are suffering. So kind of like compassion fatigue. Like people are so burnt out that they don't even have enough to take care of, to give a moment of grace to anyone else. They're done. No one here is able to give anything to anyone else. Completely worn out, burnout, just surviving really at the most brutal level, barefoot in the cold. And you know, there is sustenance available, but it's not forthcoming. So yeah, retreating into hermit mode makes sense. Going within to find the light within makes absolute sense and is necessary. And how does that relate to the heart of sky energy? Yeah, this has been an initiation. The pain and the suffering has been an initiation to force looking within, going inwards. You know, there's only so long we can keep repeating patterns until we start to truly grasp the fact that we are the common denominator in anything and everything in our own lives, and therefore we have to go within. And look how pure this is. Okay, it's like the moment you choose to go within, there's this purity that is there for you, to support you, to ground you through this journey. And his beard is supported, throat chakra. So there's a purity available when you make this choice to go within. So what about this heart of sky? I just feel like that's a healing. Just looking at the imagery, that just looks like a healing space, and Maybe someone feels like they've been just knocked out of their orbit. Their life has just been tumbled and knocked, and they're sort of free falling and been free falling because of the struggles and the suffering, the pain that they've been through. Yet all of it has been overseen divinely. All of it's been divinely guided. So no matter how isolated, desperate, alone or lonely anyone may ever feel or has ever felt or is feeling right now, no matter what, there is always a light shining, and there always is. You're never not connected to source. But the experience of pain and suffering, the ego mind really struggles with those sorts of ideas and notions. It wants to control everything, so even if it does accept those notions, it will still want to control the monitoring of it. Page of Swords and King of Swords. So it's like fresh thinking coming in, leaping straight from the page to the King of Swords. That's a huge leap. That's sort of like a little bit of a aha, wake up call, and this is full on cutting out the crap. No more nonsense. Clarity of mind. Because yes, I feel this is quite Neptunian. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune is the god of the sea, of the underworld, of the god of the ocean, god of water, Neptune, also known as Poseidon. And I know this is sort of in the stars in the sky, but this feels very Neptunian, very foggy, a bit like the film Labyrinth, where she's on this journey of what is really self-discovery, and David Bowie is playing the king of the goblins. It's a very dream-like, ethereal experience that she goes through. This woman's this isn't a young girl like in the story, in the film. So I feel that whatever the collective's been through, it's been supported, divinely guided. But with these cards, I'm getting that it's been a struggle. So perhaps even someone's tried in earnest and they've just got lost in the fog, is how it feels. But clarity is coming now, even if it's just by listening to this message in a sense of awareness. But it just, as beautiful as it is, I feel that someone's been lost in the fog, sort of like a haze with no boundaries. And we have just had all these transits from Pisces. We've had Neptune, Saturn, moving from Pisces. Big transits going on, which may have caused some stress and strife in the process. This feels like a very tired energy, a very worn out energy. Okay, yeah, that's what it feels like. This energy is tired. Someone's tired. Do we need anything more on this, or is this done? No, I think the process of acknowledging where you've been, or where you may still feel that you've been, acknowledging that, going within, which is allowing for the clarity and the awakening process that's necessary, and cutting out the bullshit. Okay, so that's past energy, and we're acknowledging that. So present energy is completion, which is a huge change, shift to energy. That feels very positive. There's a heart in the center here. At the beginning I said about a heart opening sense, and this just dropped down on the floor face up. So new information coming in, inspiration incoming at a pace. So this feels like a complete change of energy. This is reminding me of the snake eating its tail reminds me of, well, there's loads of symbology with that, but I'm thinking of the North Node and the South Node, which is in Vedic astrology, Rahu and Ketu. And I'm seeing this as like a compass point as well. So it's a sense of having completed a very important part of your journey, or your step, a step in life's journey, which means this was all part of the process and important and necessary to bring you to this point of completion here. So what's coming out? There we go. Yes, this is what the snake was reminding me of as well. The Mobius loop, the sacred infinity. Yeah, this is a confirmation of mastery or self-mastery, or mastery of the elements, or a certain mastery of a certain aspect of self. We are always in the process of becoming, so there will always be more expansion. The universe is ever expanding. So someone has made a huge transformation and alchemized so much from the past, so much that with very little guidance or support, it feels like this was done sort of like through scrambling through the dark and just doing one's best and going within as best as possible. So you've alchemized, you have really, I mean, it's not you could say it's a leap, but it's not like you did all the steps. You've done all the processes. Okay, so this is confirmation of self-mastery, alchemization, reaching next level mastery. The magician is the master manifester. Yeah, and now you're in this state where you can be manifesting your dreams, your wishes. I'm talking about the North Node, which is the ultimate star, right? That's our guiding star. Okay, and we've got divine masculine energy. So there's a divine masculine here, or divine feminine, or someone who has accessed their healthy, sacred, divine masculine energy within themselves, and they're making it manifest in the world. So magician, star is Aquarius energy, emperor is Aries energy, magician is Pisces energy. That just slipped for the minute. So what else do we need to know about this completion? This is very, I mean, look, 3 major arcanas is extremely powerful. This is powerful anyway, completion, obviously, that's huge energy. But then to have 3 major arcanas to support this energy is, this just isn't a casual leveling up. This is decades or lifetimes of work to get to this point. So don't underestimate where you are now at, or just and the threshold of. Do not underestimate where you are. You are now in a position, not only can you alchemize even the most nebulous and diffuse and powerful. This is powerful. Remember, it says that the creation isn't either good nor bad, it's what we give it. So if something can be a dream or it can be a nightmare, and I feel that for someone it's been a nightmare, and to have alchemized that, it's like I'm seeing the chariot and I'm having drawn the horses, but not just the 2 horses, tens of thousands of hundreds of horses drawn in and drawn together into alignment. This is hundreds and thousands of years of bringing this energy in, of these wild horses, and alchemizing it, bringing it back into alignment, over and over. See, this is a cycle. So there is this anything that requires mastery, any craft, any skill, there's this finessing, there's this reiteration, these iterations, this process. And someone's soul has been through this process. Is there anything else we need to know about completion? This is extremely powerful. I did not realize this was going to go this way. The energy of this was so heavy and so hard that I was a bit concerned that this reading was just going to be, but this is so powerful, and now it makes sense why. Is there anything else we need about this completion? I mean, it's 3 major arcanas out of a deck of 78 cards. Yeah, it flipped, but it came out this way first. Someone's ready for new adventures, moving on, new shores. Okay, so someone's ready. You're ready for what's next. You're in this place, you're in this space, right here. And this is interesting because there is so much awareness about the divine feminine, and in recent years and slowly in recent decades, there's been more of awareness of the balance of the masculine and the feminine in so many different ways. And it's got to a point where now young boys and men in our society are feeling disengaged, disenfranchised. They're feeling targeted and victimized, and understandably so, because the pendulum has swung so much. There's so much divisive thinking, and actually a lot of our laws and systems have been divisive for eons. It doesn't matter whether you believe that's intentional or not. Ignorance is just that. It's just the lack of light and understanding. So we don't need to hate ignorance or fight ignorance. We just need to bring light, whether we see that within ourselves, whether we see that within others, find compassion. And draw on it in ourselves. You know, when we see something outside in the world that really angers us, triggers us, enrages us, something in society, something going on, we could go to war with the other. Or if we have capacity, we could try and drop into ourselves and see if we can find compassion for the whole of humanity. I feel the Emperor energy is transforming and evolving anyway. The divine masculine energy is evolving, and it's not clear cut, is it? It's you know. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, just let it go. There's no need to get caught up and tangled in this. This isn't about, but you know, this reading is meant to be, is for your highest good and greatest well-being, and that's what it's intended. So, you know, if this is upsetting or triggering anyone, that it's not meant to, just leave it, let it go. Yeah, it's funny. This just popped up again. So there is something about the next step being a process of letting stuff go. You know, there are still very huge, you know, things are playing out in the world and in people's personal lives. And it is about making that conscious choice to let it go, which I know how annoying that can sound when someone is caught up in something. But look how much you've already alchemized. Look how much you've already been through. You have the capacity and the power to do that. I just heard rise above it, which again, in the wrong context, that can just sound like really shit advice. So it's not meant to diminish anything that anyone's been through or experienced in life. Not at all. And I love how you've got this sacred feminine energy, which I'm taking with the star as a feminine energy, flanked by 2 powerful masculine energies that are as pillars around her, which I find beautiful. Yeah, a tower. There's another major arcana, right? All these transformations are tower moments for all of us. Okay. Right, so stepping forward, we've seen there's new adventures, letting go. And remember that the sorcerer is overseeing this process, which is a sacred feminine, but I don't mean it in gender ways. I mean the energy of feminine, which is the yin, the receptive, the dark womb nature, the the kind of right brain thinking that everyone has and has access to, regardless of their gender or how they identify. It's got nothing to do with that. Let's not get caught up in that. It's funny this is coming up. I feel like there's, yeah. Okay. Let's just clear this because I just feel like for some reason this is being sidetracked. By an energy, which is, this is the thing, when we misunderstand something or we have our own perception or our own agenda, which we all do, okay, we all, our own biases, all of us, each of us, that's fine. But when we get activated or triggered, and that's what starts to play out, that story, and then we don't get to hear the truth. So I just want to cleanse this because I feel that there's something here that's really activating, maybe like a splinter that's coming up and out, and it's a bit painful and whatever. So just be compassionate, you know, switch off if you need to, find something else, do something else if you need to. If you want to come back another time and do that. Yeah, so this is what the circle is heading towards. This is 10 of Pentacles, which is also societal. You know, the 10 of Cups is lovely, it's happy family. And this 10 of Pentacles, you know, even more so is about society. And this, to me, is this unification of humanity, this cohesive connectivity, which is not about our division. It's not about how we identify or who they are or who we are, or we're individuals or they're a group, or this is us and that's them, and all these tribal root chakra things, which are a natural part of humanity. But all of humanity is growing. We're growing beyond toxic expressions of these energies. You know, we're growing beyond these toxic expressions. Okay, so the energy going forward, we've got the circle, excuse me, 10 of Pentacles. What else with this circle energy that's stepping forward? So this definitely isn't a love reading, which is something else that's coming up. But the dragon was coming up. And what's great about dragons is because they can cross realms and dimensions. Their energy that can be dark and fierce can really reach into the most toxic of places. I mean, we haven't got the devil on the table at all, and it's not even popped up, and we're talking about these issues. But the devil will be more about the attachment to these issues. So I feel like we're free to talk about these things because the attachment is no longer there. It's this release, and it's a flushing out now. A detoxification process. This is really interesting where this is going. There's other energy here, but for some reason these are the messages that are coming out. So someone wants to hear this or needs to hear this, or just something about this needs to be said. Because there's also a lot of gentle energy here. There's nothing really harsh. The Tower is a beautiful energy here. It's an acknowledgement of what we're looking at here in this space today, in this liminal space. Do we have a card? The circle. Yeah, okay. Again, let's not get stuck on gender. This is about going in for the intuition. I really feel there's a strong gender issue that's popped up here, and I can feel it within me. There's this anger and rage, and I don't really know whether it's the collective that's watching this, or maybe the collective have been dealing with it, or maybe it's still a bit buried. But there's advice here to drop in to your intuition. Really go within. You know, a bit like the hermit, but in this case, it's you know, so above the temples, they say before you enter, was it before? before you know thyself, before you enter. Like the sacred temples of the ancient oracles. And there were many oracles at Delphi, and over many hundreds of years. It wasn't just one. And there were these fumes that would come up that could be intoxicating, like, I guess, playing with psychedelics, plant medicines and various things. The warning was that you have to know who you are before you go in. Before you enter, before you go in, know thyself. It's along those lines. And it's not about entering the building, the sacred temple. It's talking about the sacred temple within. Because if you go in there, you could get lost for lifetimes. You can get lost in the ego, yeah. By the way, I'm not recommending anyone takes any sort of psychedelics or any sort of anything. Absolutely not. Do not. Got to go in and connect with your intuition, grounding, meditation. Is there anything else to do with this circle, which I feel is about community and connecting? In order to do that, really go within, trust your intuition. But again, this is so powerful. This is just really acknowledging where you've been, what you've been through, that you're at a very powerful place right now. And with that, it is true responsibility, the ability to respond, okay? I feel like I'm giving someone a lecture. This is really odd because the energy isn't about lecturing. There's beautiful energy here and I'm putting all these caveats. So I don't know why. I feel like I'm just putting all these kind of warnings around this energy. Okay. Do I have anything else for this circle? This is going forward. This is energy that's upcoming. This is what we're stepping into, this sacred circle. Knight of Cups. Yeah, going in with love. This feels nice and light and beautiful from the energy we've been talking about. So it's going in with love, with an open heart, relaxed. There's a humility there. Yeah, justice. I'm just flipping over. Go in with grace. He's got the wings on his helmet like Mercury. So with a clear head, an open heart, with humility, with grace, stepping across these emotional waters, doing so with grace. And look, there's also the Mercury wings on his boots as well. The winged messenger. Yeah. Go in with grace. Not this energy of fighting and conflict. Okay, that's old energy that's done. Going in with grace, love, compassion, humility, wisdom, from a place of centeredness, open and relaxed. Gosh, this is already a really long video. Oh, look, there we go. Last two. Temperance. This is all about alchemizing and balancing. This archangel is fully awakened and enlightened, stands on the water and the earth. We've got the sun in the background. This is beautiful, divinely guided. And here, a lot of people love this as a twin flame thing. And really, you can see this as a beautiful, happy home, stability, celebration. It's friends and family, the whole citadel celebrating. This is a beautiful energy to be stepping towards. And I feel that's what needs to be known. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. What was at the bottom of the deck? Yeah, kind of moved out of this, moved out of the Three of Swords, heartache, moving into the reciprocity of give and take, which is the Six of Pentacles. Was that six? Yeah. No more battles, choosing love, not war. Yeah, there's the devil, came up evidently. The Sun, Justice, the Sun, Queen of Pentacles. Nice, okay, good vibes. Do we need one more card for the collective for this message to wrap it up? That's what fell again, and it fell upside down, so it's done with heartache. Yeah, King of Cups. That's lovely. Allowing emotions to flow. There's yeah, I feel this message maybe for a divine masculine, maybe one that wouldn't normally watch these things, and so maybe is a bit like activated. But your emotions are unfreezing and coming online and flowing, and that is part of stepping into the Emperor energy. Do we have another message to go with this? Oh, yeah, Ace of Swords. So it's clear thinking. Oh, this is, okay, I'm going to share this, which I absolutely love, which it just makes so much sense. So, you know, the cliche is that the logical, rational thinking mind will argue that the emotional mind or the emotional body is so irrational and shouldn't be over emotional and shouldn't get overexcited or over upset and shouldn't be so emotionally swayed. Now, the thing is, that is the nature of emotions. That is the nature of the sea. That is the nature of the elements, the wind, water flowing. So, in fact, it would be illogical and irrational to expect emotions to be anything other than emotions. It would be illogical and irrational to expect the sea just to be calm, not to flow, not to get too big a wave, not to be too small, not to have tides. That would be irrational and illogical. So the most logical and rational thing that the logical, rational thinking mind can do is fully accept that the emotional body is not even meant to be rational or logical. And in that acceptance, suddenly all need for control, all fear, it all just dissolves, because you suddenly accept this is an ocean. This is a vast, great ocean with depths that may never be fully understood and explored. And in that knowing and understanding creates a heart opening and an acceptance, which allows for peace and harmony and unity. And that's what I feel we have here with this. I think perhaps someone has been swimming in this ocean, been through a journey. This is completion and now unity. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If you like it, share it, comment, subscribe, and take care.